where Chelsea's loan army stands ahead of 2021-22. Here we are again. It's the summer transfer window, and that means it's time for Chelsea to figure out what they're doing with their Brazilian loan players. With FIFA rules limiting loans and Chelsea plotting a £150 million bid for a certain Frankenstein-esque Norwegian, the Blues need to cut down on the amount of players on the books, and the culling has already started this summer. Here's a look at where those in the loan army find themselves ahead of the 2021-22 season. The biggest departure so far, centre-back Tomori joined AC Milan permanently after his impressive loan spell last season. Chelsea brought in the best part of £30 million for the 23-year-old, and that's gone right into the transfer kitty. Moses's loan to Spartak Moscow turned permanent when the Russian side secured a top-3 finish earlier this year. It brought an end to Moses's 9-year spell at the Bridge, with Chelsea pocketing around £4 million. Spartak are genuinely in love with Moses. Their Twitter feed is just full of pictures of him accompanied with captions like "OMG he's the king." Wholesome content. Once touted as the new Frank Lampard, Van Ginkel was granted a free transfer to PSV after spending the last few years on loan in Eindhoven. Countless serious injuries have hampered Van Ginkel's progress, but here's hoping he can turn it around. Chelsea cut their ties with Piazon back in January, allowing him to join Portuguese side Braga. It's safe to say the 27-year-old never really lived up to his billing of the second coming of Kaká during his time at Chelsea. 6 years after joining Chelsea from Partizan Belgrade, Pantic has returned to the Serbian side permanently. The 24-year-old never even came close to making an appearance for the Blues. Looking to continue his momentum in the senior game, Gilmour will spend the 2021-22 season with Norwich City. He stole the show at Euro 2020 with a dazzling performance against England and will hope to deliver more of that this season. There are very high hopes for 18-year-old Colwill, who is set for his first taste of senior football with Huddersfield. The centre-back penned a new 4-year deal before heading up to Yorkshire. Dutch wing-back Juan Castillo will spend the coming season on loan with Birmingham. He did well in the Eredivisie towards the end of last season and is looking to show the world why he was in such high demand during his days in the academy. Continuing his climb up the Football League, young goalkeeper Nathan Baxter is linking up with Championship side Hull City this year. NOW22, Baxter has impressed at every level from non-league to League One, and he even did well in the Scottish Premiership in 2019-20. A debutant under Jose Mourinho back in 2015, Brown's time at the club is up. His contract expired this summer after his loan with Sheffield Wednesday came to an end, and he has since joined Preston North End. Academy graduate Blackman's chances of actually appearing for Chelsea are now over. The 27-year-old goalkeeper, who spent last season with Rotherham, is on the hunt for a new employer this year. Having now recovered from his Achilles injury, Loftus-Cheek is looking to get his career back on track. Last season didn't go exactly to plan with Fulham, but Tuchel has confessed to being a fan of Loftus-Cheek already. The door is open to a return. After a scorching start to life with Aston Villa, Barkley's form petered out as the season progressed, and now he's back at square one. With so much competition in the 10 role, Barkley might be facing an uphill battle to get back into the picture, but you know he's going to try. Last year, Broja managed 10 goals in the Eredivisie with everyone's favorite loan side, Vitesse, and he did enough to play his way into the first team fold. With Olivier Giroud gone and Tammy Abraham tipped to follow, there could be a spot in the squad for the 19-year-old, but another loan may be the best move. A few slow years haven't helped Ampadu's development, so 2021-22 needs to be a big year for the Welshman. He was a regular for Sheffield United last season and looks capable of playing a role for a Premier League side, but the question is whether he is ready to do that at Chelsea. In 12 months at Porto, Sarr managed to get banished to the reserves and pocket Cristiano Ronaldo in the Champions League. Busy. The 22-year-old flashed glimpses of his high potential, and he'll be hoping to get a chance to prove that at the Bridge. With West Brom, Gallagher proved he has a future at the highest level, but he's not yet ready to compete with N'Golo Kanté and Jorginho for minutes. He could stay at Chelsea as a backup, but another loan away for some consistent playing time is probably best for the 21-year-old. Despite major hopes that he could be the next academy star, Guehi is off to Crystal Palace. The Eagles have paid big for the young centre-back, but at least Chelsea have secured matching rights for any future bid. He's popped up with some big goals during his time at Chelsea, but that's about it. Batshuayi's last loan spell at Palace was pretty poor, hammering the final nail in the coffin of his Chelsea career. With just 1 year left on his contract, expect a cut-price sale. One of the many needless signings of the Antonio Conte era, Zappacosta had a quietly impressive loan spell with Genoa last year. NOW 29, and with 1 year on his deal, Chelsea will look to capitalize on his high stock and offload him to a Serie A side. Bakayoko still has value, it's just not clear to whom. Chelsea want to send him to Italy, where he has enjoyed some decent loan spells in the past. They won't get anywhere near the £40 million they paid for him, but Bakayoko should generate a decent sum. Completing the group of Conte signings with 1 year left on their deal is Drinkwater, who is a firm contender for the worst signing in club history. His spell in Turkey with Kasımpaşa was as average as you'd probably expect, and Chelsea will likely be willing to let him go for free just to end this hell once and for all. As a towering defensive midfielder with top-flight experience, there had been real hope that Chalobah would get a shot in the Chelsea team this season, but then came the rumors. Chalobah has been tipped to leave the club this summer, with a handful of championship sides keeping a close eye on him. With 16 goals in 32 appearances in the Belgian league last year, Ugbo has earned himself a big move this summer. Teams across the continent are chasing the 22-year-old, and Chelsea will be keen to cash in as he enters the final year of his contract. Miazga has confessed to wanting out this summer, and you can't really blame him for that. The 25-year-old defender has been all across Europe on loans and is clearly not going to make it to Chelsea, so finding him a permanent home is in everyone's best interests. Rumors Kennedy could be shipped back to Brazil came as a bit of a surprise considering he actually had a very solid season on loan in Spain with Granada last year. He's done enough to generate a solid sum when he is sold this summer, but where he might end up is currently unclear. Now 26 and returning from his 8th loan, Baker will be sold this summer if Chelsea can find a permanent buyer. The midfielder has 12 months left on his contract, so his time at Chelsea is coming to an end soon anyway, but his solid performances with Trabzonspor last season might earn him an earlier exit. One of the many loanees to be bitten by the injury bug, Baba managed a decent spell with Greek side PAOK last season and looks to be regaining his fitness. That should mean buyers aren't as scared of bidding for him this summer, but Chelsea may be forced to agree to one final loan if no suitors come forward.